Today we're going to take a look at the Talaria XXX, also known as the X3 concept. I don't know if that's the final name, but essentially this bike is built for, as they've told me, for younger riders or riders who want a smaller bike. Perhaps you're a female rider and you don't have the frame to be able to ride a Sting R or an MX3. So let's actually compare the size. I have the Sting R right next to me. If we line up the bikes, you can see that pretty much the Sting R covers the X3 completely. But actually, the XXX is only about 1 or 2 centimeters shorter in the wheelbase. So a big reason why that is because the Sting R is running a 19-inch tire, whereas the X3 is running a 17-inch tire. Now, coming stock with this bike, at least in China, you're going to get these street tires. In the international market, I don't know if you're maybe getting the option for off-road tires. You also have this license plate mount. It's pretty cool. It's a single arm, so this side doesn't have any doesn't have a support. You have your license plate mount with your turn signal. So this bike is also focused for riders who want a commuter bike as well. Now, I'll show you the startup for this bike and show you the differences between this bike compared to the MX3, MX4. To start up this bike, you push down on this button, and then you use this NFC key, and the screen will light up. Still the same screen. If you've bought a Talaria before, you'll be familiar with the control system. It's all the same there. And what's different about this bike is you have a belt drive system. You have a belt to a chain. Now this bike is running a 5,000 watt motor peak with a LG 60 volt 40 amp hour battery. So this bike actually has more battery than the MX3. The MX3 is 38 amp hours. Now, still the same headlights, as you can see, used on the front. And then you have this mud guard. I think this is going to be a really cool bike for people who want to do wheelies or really want to cruise onto the street. One thing that's really interesting is the way you remove the battery. So you have your charge port here for easy charging, still the same, plug. But to actually remove the battery, you'll have to loosen this quick release, plus the 2 quick releases inside. Let me see if I can. You can see the 2 quick releases there. So we'll demonstrate it in a little bit, but before we get to that, I want to tell you everything else important about the bike. So like I said, this bike is offering 5,000 watts, and you'll be able to take this bike up to 75 kilometers an hour. Now the seat height is 30 millimeters shorter than the MX3 and the Sting R. The seat is also actually quite narrow. If you're sitting on this for an extended amount of time, it's not going to be ideal. I'm sure when this bike comes out, someone will figure out a mod to make this a little bit more comfortable. The bike is a completely aluminum frame, and you have this bike offering 34 Newton meters of torque. Now, even though this bike is running a belt to chain, it doesn't sound as loud as my Sur-Ron, and I don't know why that is. It's just quieter, just off initial impressions. But basically, that's what you get with this bike. 1,000 watts less than the MX3 in terms of the power delivery, and 3,000 watts less than the Sting R. So this isn't going to be your super fast bike, but still a lot of fun. Now in terms of the suspension, they feel a bit stiff. They're not as soft as the MX3 that I have. The MX3 is running obviously D&M suspension. I don't know the brand of suspension they're running on this bike, but it's going to be either a Fast Ace or a D&M setup as well. So that's pretty much all I have to say about the X3. If there's anything you want to find out, hopefully I can respond to it. I don't know if I'll make a full review of this bike, but I just wanted to show you guys really quickly what the X3 is about, and hopefully answer some unanswered questions, because retailers in the US or in the international market haven't received it yet. But if you like this kind of video, and hopefully this video helped you out, please consider subscribing, liking. It helps me out a lot. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.